Man, what a great night for boxing, man. And from all the way up, from the Jared Anderson fight with Bacoli, I thought Jared Anderson showed a lot of heart, but the Bacoli guy, man, he was just too big. You could see it with the guy was throwing punches from down near the other side of the ring, and he was landing almost every jab, every right hand, body shots, and just mean uppercuts that almost turned Jared Anderson's neck the other way, man. It was like, wow, the size difference was fascinating, to say the least. It was definitely fascinating to see somebody that much bigger, against somebody that much smaller. It was like 6'6" to 6'1", 30-pound weight difference. To me, that was the most entertaining fight, but also the most like, man, I wanted to see that fight get stopped. It was looking like if the referee didn't step in when he did, man, he might have seriously hurt Jared Anderson, who has a promising future. Yeah, that was a great fight, though. Then you got the Cruz fight. I've been saying this for a minute. Cruz is a little bit too one-dimensional. You see him throwing all the slugger left hooks and right hooks. Every now and then he throws a two or a right hand and a jab, but for the most part, he just wants to slugger you. And I've noticed when he gets in there with a real boxer, a guy that knows how to use his size, he's tall, and he can actually box, move around the ring, move his feet, get out the way of punches, use his angles, use his jab correctly, throw punches in between the slugger's punches. He struggles a bit, and we seen that last night. It was kind of what I expected. I said before going into the fight that I thought he would lose that fight, and a lot of people are going to be upset. And for him to, after the fight, in the post, go and act like he won that fight. I mean, come on, man, that's ridiculous. You couldn't even get a knockdown on the guy. It was at times, you're the slugger, and this guy has you backing up. He has you backing up, and he was taking control of the ring. So, yeah, man, that was a clearly won fight, by the challenger. And then we have to get to the main event. Terrence Crawford versus Madrimov. Now, here's one thing that stood out to me in that fight. Here's one thing I noticed right off the bat. Those 7 pounds make a huge difference. They do. From 147 to 154, it makes a huge difference, because I've been watching Terrence Crawford, since he first came in, and I can't recall ever seeing an opponent just clearly look like the stronger fighter against him. I mean, Madrimov was truly pushing Crawford around in the ring a bit. I did feel like Crawford won. He deserved the victory. He out punched him. He landed more punches, the jabs, the sneaky body shots. He was hitting Madrimov with a lot of punches that he didn't see, but you could clearly see Madrimov was the stronger guy, and he landed a lot of the harder punches, the power punches. He landed more power punches to me. Just from my eyes point of view, he landed more punches that you look at and say, ooh, oh, that was a clean shot, But one of my takeaways from this fight, man, and I know a lot of Crawford fans are going to be, disappointed about this. I don't want to see Crawford fight Canelo. You could just see, man, that weight has a huge impact. It has a very huge impact on these fighters. And if going up 7 pounds, man, made you clearly look like the weaker man in the ring, you lost a lot of the ring generalship. Madrimov was pushing you around the ring a bit, He had you backpedaling in this fight. What do you think is going to happen if he go up 14 more pounds? I mean, I think Bud is the better fighter. I think Bud is the more skilled fighter. I think Bud is one of the most skilled fighters ever. He's up there with Floyd. He's truly very skilled. But, man, I feel like it's reaching a bit too close to the sun. He's reaching a bit too close to the sun, because at some point, you're just not big enough. I've only seen one person be able to go up in weight, put on all that weight, and still be very effective, and that's James Toney. And, I don't see Bud as a guy who's willing to bulk up like that. His body type, it just don't seem like a bulking up type of body type. I feel like he's going to be a pretty slim dude for the rest of his life. And don't get me wrong, man, Bud is kind of strong. Just from, he has a wrestling background, so he's built up from the legs all the way to the neck. You seen his traps. You seen his traps last night, man, the way they were just sticking out. But, man, I'm telling you, like, he's reaching too close to the sun, man. It's going to be a lot of disappointed Bud fans if he fight Canelo. I truly believe that. Because you're going to see, Bud landing his usual punches, but it's going to look very different. See, he had an impact on this Majimov dude at 154. But if you move up to 168, which is nowhere near your natural weight, and you find yourself landing these punches, your hooks, your uppercuts, your slingshots coming from everywhere, and they just ain't having the same impact. And you see Canelo constantly walking you down. He's constantly in your face, and Canelo throwing clean shots as well that you don't see coming. It just fiends for disaster, It screams, I just don't think that's a fight he should be taking right now, especially at 36. You're getting older, you're trying to build your legacy. As Crawford says, man, that's all he in it for right now is to fight for his legacy. I think the smart route would be to go for Virgil Ortiz. I think he's clearly a better fighter than Virgil Ortiz. He would outpoint him. He would be too physically gifted in the ring for Virgil Ortiz. He's just a better boxer. He's quicker, better on his feet. He would dominate Virgil Ortiz. I think that would be the smarter route to go for him. Not going up 14 more pounds and fighting one of the greatest fighters of all time. I just don't think that's the safe route. Now, I hear a lot of people saying Boots, and here's where I have to disagree with the Boots fight. Yes, it will make for an entertaining fight, even though I think Bud will probably knock him out around the 8th, or it will be a stoppage around like the 8th, 9th ring by Bud. What would that fight do for Bud? I know what it would do for Boots. If Boots somehow would find a way to pull off an upset and beat Crawford, man, his money-making ability, his esteem around the boxing world, everything will completely change for him overnight. He will be the guy. He will be the cash cow, Everything will completely change. His whole life will change right before his eyes. However, Bud Crawford, what does he get out of that? You fight a young guy that has the potential to upset you. You never know. He has the potential to upset you. And he would just end your career. I mean, he would end your career and he would have your legacy looked at different because you already got a lot of these Spence fans who wants to see Bud lose so they can make excuses for Spence. Oh, he got in a car accident. He wasn't the same. He was washed. You could tell he didn't look the same. His eyes was glassy. They already looking for them excuses, so, that will feed even more into that narrative. I just don't think it would be a smart fight by Bud to fight Boots, or Crawford. I think he should go for Virgil Ortiz, and I think Bud, man, he's 36. Andre Ward got out the game at 34 or 33. He's 40 right now. I think he should be looking to fight one or two more fights, man, and retire. It ain't worth taking an L late in your career, and it changes the whole trajectory of your career just like that, But yeah, man, it was a great night for boxing, man. Great card all around. Very, very great fights. I think it really lived up to the hype. Shout out to the excellency. He can be called whatever you want to call it if he keep making these fights happen, man. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think what happened with a Bud and Canelo fight. I wouldn't mind seeing it, man, but I just think it's one hell of a risk for Terrence Crawford at this point in his career. Love.